everyone, I'm Valerie at Pisces Mountain Farm. Welcome. Today is a little bit of a story time. It's a little bit different than the videos I usually put out. It is still garden related though. I'm just going to give you a trigger warning right here that I can't promise I'm not going to start crying in this video, so if that triggers you in any way, you might want to turn this video off. I mean, I'm not saying I will start to cry, I just can't promise that I won't. So, I guess the best place to start is at the beginning. The other day I was running a sandwich out to my husband because he had come home for lunch. He doesn't work very far away from the house. And I was running a sandwich out there and standing at the car talking to him. And as I turned around to walk inside, a bee stung me. Some kind of flying, stinging insect stung me. I think it was a yellow jacket. I think it was a yellow jacket because they're out in abundance this year. They're everywhere. And, you know, they sting unprovoked. I don't think it was a honeybee because there was no stinger left in my skin. But I got stung, and I kissed him goodbye and walked in the house, and I sat down to eat a sandwich that I had for myself. Before I could take the first bite, I started feeling kind of like, the best way to describe it is almost like it didn't feel real. And then my hands started itching real bad. By the time I stood up and I was going to go look for some medicine for this sting, I started feeling really lightheaded and like I was going to vomit and pass out. I ended up in the hospital anaphylactic. I mean, I know I skipped over. I mean, maybe I should go over what happened in case any of this happens to any of you, because I've never been stung by anything and had this happen in my life. Like, I've been stung before, and I've never had this happen. So, I started getting, when I stood up to go get medicine, I started getting really overheated and feeling nauseated like I was going to vomit. And the only thing I could think is I'm going to go sit on my front steps because I need to call an ambulance and them to be able to get to me if need be. Well, I was sitting there on my steps and I had my front door opened because I was overheated. It was, you know, 95 degrees out. So I opened my door so the air from the inside could rush over me. And at this time, you know, I'd hollered for my son. I started feeling better. I started feeling like, okay, I'm not feeling so sick. So I'm like, I'm going to get up and look for some Benadryl. And I went to the cabinet where I got my medicine, got the little medicine basket out, and sat down on the floor and just felt so lightheaded and just dizzy and like I was just going to fall asleep, kind of. Like I was very not with it. So that's when I said, I think I need to go to the hospital. He did drive me to the hospital, which is very close to my house. And I gave him instructions on what to do if I lost consciousness. I told him if I lost consciousness to just pull over immediately and call 911 because he would be too upset to be able to continue driving me. So I get there, and now mind you that this bee sting happened maybe 10-15 minutes prior to the time I arrived at the hospital, and I didn't really get tightening in my chest, but I felt so nauseated like I was going to vomit, and I was having like these cold sweats, and my spot was getting, the sting was getting dimply. I was there for maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes at the most, and by the time they got me back to triage, I had hives all over my whole body that weren't there before. They just like literally started appearing. They got me back to room and I was anaphylactic. I had to get Benadryl and steroids and EpiPen. And it It was really, really scary. So now I have to carry an EpiPen with me everywhere. I'm not really sure what stinging insect it was, but I'm like 95% convinced it was a yellow jacket, just based on the bees that were around me at the time. And it was scary enough when it happened, but the thing that's really upset me right now is I think I have to pull out my gardens. I'm not making any decision. I'm going to give myself some time. I'm still a little bit in, like, disbelief. Like, I feel like it's one of those events where I feel like 3 days ago I was a different person because it happened 3 days ago. You know, not yesterday, not the day before that, but the day before that. So, gardening is such a big part of what I do and who I am. I know it doesn't define you. What you do doesn't define you. But it just was something that I love so much, and it encompassed so much of my life. I mean, from the planning to the seed collecting to the seed swaps, all of that stuff. Like, I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to do. As of right now, I'm really freaked out of just any stinging insect that's around me. I'm not going to make any decisions right now. That was a pretty traumatic experience, and I know that my emotions are still heightened. So, I'm not going to make a decision on ultimately what I'm going to do yet. I'm going to give myself some time. As of right now, I'm really freaked out. I've been doing a lot of researching on gardening whenever you have a bee allergy, and honestly, there's not much information. And the information I do have, it says to grow things that are wind pollinated, like corn, and things that you don't rely on the flower, like broccoli. The problem with that is I've never been successful at actually getting ahead of broccoli. I've gotten little sprouts of broccoli. I guess there's some sedges and grasses and trees and evergreens that I can grow. I can keep my ferns. They don't flower. If I can't go out there and take care of these plants, I can't weed. I'm so afraid if I can't weed and I can't, you know, harvest, and I can't do any of the things because I'm afraid of being stung, I just don't know how I'm going to be able to keep my garden. Like I said, I'm not making any decisions right now. I'm still a little shaken up, and I know you don't make decisions, especially ones that are that important to you as an individual, while you're in a heightened state of emotion. And right now, I'm definitely in a heightened state of emotion. I'm still getting over it, so to speak. So, I'm just trying to think through all this. I don't know what I'm going to do instead. I've got lots of things swirling around, and I know I just need to give myself time. All of this to say is, before all this happened, I had a couple of videos that I was working on that I'm going to go ahead and finish editing and get those put up. And I've still got some taste tests, some tomato taste tests that I'm going to put up. And in the meantime, I'm going to be here figuring out what happens next. Sorry about that. Not only does that mean that I'm most likely not going to be able to garden. I mean, maybe there's a way. It's too hot to put on a full bee suit every time I go out there. The weather's too hot. I'm doing research. I'm trying to, like, talk to people, Google, just figure out what can be done. But the other thing is, let's see, I know my channel's not very popular, and I don't have a huge following, and, you know, none of those things, but this is a creative outlet for me, and if I don't have a garden, I kind of don't have a channel. So there's two things being taken away from me through no fault of my own. Okay, I just kind of wanted to come on here and talk about that. I'm going to put up the videos over the next couple of weeks that I do have. I don't know, I either have 2 or 3 videos ready to be uploaded, and then some tomato taste tests. I'm going to go ahead and upload those, and in the meantime I'm just going to figure out what happens to my garden and my channel. If you all go anaphylactic from an insect sting and you still garden, could you maybe just send me some suggestions? Okay, I'm sorry that got emotional and personal, but I thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for all the time you spent with me. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.